Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am your moderator, and we are here for Presidential Debate 2020 for IEM LAN, and here's our 5 candidates.
Hello, my name is Elucidate. I'm running for president.
Hello, my name is presentational. I'm running for president of IEM LAN 2020.
Hello, I'm Pierpat Anaklanit. I'm running for president of IEM LAN in 2020.
Hey, I'm Andar Subitak. I'm running for president for IEM LAN 2020.
Hello, I'm Pop Tam Pien, running for president 2020.
Our first topic is about economy. The first question is, if you win the election, what economic problem in this country would you fix first?
There are many economic problems in this country, both big and small problems. If I win this election, I would like to fix export product first. If we have stable, strong, and reliable exporting, we can produce a lot of product and sell to other countries easier. Moreover, the income rate of IEM citizens would be rapidly increased as well. I believe it. That's all.
I think that's a good point, but in my opinion, if I win the election, the first thing I'll do is finding how to get rid of the COVID-19. Because our country, the IEM LAN, depends on tourism to fuel the economy. Closing off the country because of the COVID-19 has affected the economy badly. And after the economy is down, the citizens won't go and buy unnecessary things because they want to save their money. As you can see, it comes in chain.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but I think it is only a very short-term plan. In my opinion, the biggest problem for our country right now is there are too many outdated and useless laws that sometimes not only are useless, but they are also an obstacle to our way to strengthen the economy and modernize our country economy. To solve that problem, I propose to you all a regulatory guillotine. It is a low-cost and effective way to count and then review a large number of regulations that are against clear scientific criteria for good regulation and eliminating those that are no longer needed. The regulatory guillotine is proved to be extremely successful, being a key factor to South Korean in economic success and recently Vietnam's booming economy. Yeah.
I like its point, but for me the biggest problem is in capitalism. Capitalism may be good for increasing economic growth, but it fails to distribute income to the local or the people who don't own a large business. Minority gain benefit from growing economy while the majority doesn't get the advantage properly. That is why there are many poor people in this country while the business owners don't need to worry much about inequality or social justice. That's it.
I mean, these answers are good and all, but the best solution is legalizing cannabis. Currently, our country has very few ways of making money. By legalizing cannabis, it would expand our country ways of making profit. We can take the United States as example. Like they sell marijuana in Colorado, Washington, over the past several years. Like it has resulted in tax revenues. In 2019, Colorado collected more than $300 million in taxes and fees on medical marijuana. Sales in the state totaled over $1.7 billion.
Thank you, candidates. Let's move on to the next question. The second question is, what factor do you think is the most important in order to increase economic growth?
Okay, in my viewpoint, economic is Economic growth is dependent on every citizen's income. Severally, if we can make everyone has enough money to use in everyday life, the rate of economic would be absolutely increased in the future. We need to make this social as few poor people as least as we can do. Therefore, we will have a better economic and well-being life, and we will get a lot of advantage from it.
Yeah. For me, I think the most important factor in order to increase economic growth is the national resources. The discovery of more natural resources like oil or mineral deposits may boost economic growth as this shifts or increases the country's production possibility curve. Other resources include land, water, forest, and natural gas. Realistically, it is difficult to increase the number of natural resources in a country. Countries must take care of to balance the supply and demand for scarce natural resources to avoid depleting them. Improved land management may improve the quality of land and contribute to economic growth. Yeah, thank you.
My answer would be employment rate. The economy depends on consumer spending. Without good employment rate, consumer spending rate will not grow, and it will be impossible for the economy to expand. For that reason, I have a lot of policies about improving employment rate, such as regulatory guillotine, as I mentioned above. It will attract foreign investment and create more jobs for the locals. Another one of my policies is to give some privilege to local startup business. This way, the local can still compete with the foreign business and also create more jobs to our fellow countrymen. Yeah.
I really love these ideas, but my answer is a bit different from it. Income distribution would be my answer. If we can spread out the country's income to the local or ordinary people, the equality and amount of poor people will be decreasing. There are many ways to spread out the money. For example, if you want to buy some fruits, instead of going to the supermarket, you can support the farmers by going to the local market.
For me, the answer is improvement of technology. The new technology could increase productivity with the same levels of labor, thus accelerating growth and development. This increment means factories can be more productive at lower cost. Humans would also be working in a safer environment where robots could perform dangerous tasks instead of them. Technology is most likely to lead to sustain long-term growth.
Thank you for the answer. The second topic is about environment. The first question is, how can we reduce pollution from vehicle?
We have a various way to reduce the pollution. In my viewpoint, in the future, using clean energy would be a great option that we can reduce a lot of pollution. In my opinion, we should build more cars that use electricity power instead of cars that use gasoline as a power. We can reduce carbon dioxide and gas that affect air pollution and global warming. In addition, you can recharge your car when it runs out of energy. Therefore, we can save a lot of money from paying gasoline costs, and we can reduce the pollution.
For me, there are many ways to reduce pollution from vehicles, such as choosing fuel-efficient vehicles with low greenhouse gas emission. This car can help the environment while potentially saving your money on fuel costs at the pump. No unnecessary idling of cars, trucks, and school buses pollutes the air, waste fuel, and causes excess engine wear. Modern vehicles do not require warming up in the winter, so there is no need to turn on the engine until you are ready to drive. Reducing idling from diesel school buses prevents children from being exposed to diesel exhaust, reduces greenhouse gas emissions, and saves money on fuel. Yeah, thank you.
My answer would maybe extreme for someone, but I plan to ban all cars in 2050. By that, I will steadily reducing the number of vehicles by taxing the fossil fuel vehicle and cut tax for electrical vehicle, as well as reducing the cost of public transportation. But at the same time, expand the reach of it. I plan to do all of that before 2040. If we succeed, then the number of personal CO2 generated vehicle would be very low, as I expect. And at that point, we can start to ban all personal and fossil fuel vehicles. Maybe started by banning it 3 times a day, if we complete that, I will ban it all the time, every day. Okay.
Okay, as you can see nowadays, there are many forms of transport in Thailand. For example, bus, MRT, BTS. Of them are used by many 100,000 people per day, especially the students. And while there are many pollutions still in the air, the main problem of the pollution in Thailand, especially in Bangkok, is the terrible traffic. If the traffic is good, the quality of cars on the street will be decreased. That means the pollution will be decreased too. Thank you.
Okay, so my solution is water slides. So if we use water slides instead of other means of transportation, it will reduce the amount of pollution produced by cars and other transportation. It will also reduce the amount of time it takes to get to places. Instead of waiting for public transportation to arrive, people can get straight onto the water slide and be on their way to their destination. The extra benefit of using water slide is that it will increase the overall happiness of the country too.
I think that is very good idea. I really like it.
I never thought of
It's
it.
my goal.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Very creative.
The second question is, how can we protect the environment and at the same time improve people's standard of living?
This is a hard thing to solve. In my viewpoint, we need to enhance our public transportation. I'm the one who use the public transportation. I want it to have like more reliable, more convenient, and more safety. I think if we can improve all of the transportation that we already have, like metro, subway, a bus, a taxi, a boat, or something else, IEM citizens would use the public transport more than before. Therefore, we can reduce air pollution like PM 2.5 and we can improve people's standard of living in the same time.
I think, of course, we can, in a very common way. So I'm going to talk about when you strive to maintain the quality of environment or protect it, the quality of life of humans is ultimately increased. For example, if you're living in a polluted city and you try hard on personal level or government efforts, and the pollution is brought under control, the people staying in the city, their standard of living, their quality of life ultimately goes up. So the thought of if environment is protected, then the quality of life, standard of living is going down is really not true. So we can just protect the environment in a very common way.
I quite agree with you, but I would also add my point. My point is that fighting climate change isn't a problem for ordinary people at all. The only one who is at risk is big companies who benefit from exploiting natural resources and use cheap, low-quality products such as plastic, foam, and petroleum products. In fact, the top big company in the world distribute more than 50% of the world's carbon emission. They also exploit the hard work of the ordinary people, making their life a lot worse and kept the benefit for themselves. So my answer would be to make regulation against big business. It will both benefit the people and reduce the carbon emission. I plan to restrict condemn the social welfare program to distribute the income and promote the use of environmentally friendly products and a lot more. Without good climate, people's standard of living is going to be bad. So to protect the environment is also a way of improving people's standard of living.
Okay, for me, improving people's standard of living doesn't mean that you need to destroy the environment. Humans used to live in the jungle, and why you can live with the nature at this time. For example, you can plant the trees along the street, which shade us from the sun and decrease the heavy air pollution in the air. We can do a lot of things, I think, with the nature in terms of business, such as ecotourism, organic catering. Thank you.
So I would make a law where it is mandatory for the citizen to grow at least a plant, a tree in their house. It doesn't have to be illegal, but just have to be a tree. Not only will this reduce the amount of CO2 in the air, it will also make the air cleaner and safer to breathe. The other solution is to raise kids in the jungle and make them like live in the greens, make them love nature, and that's it.
I disagree with your idea. I don't think raising kids in the jungle is a responsible way of growing children, of raising them. Like how are you gonna let your kids live in jungle?
It's dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
Have you seen Malcolm?
And look where he is. He is like an animal. He wants to
also
survive.
you know?
They also learn a way how to survive in like a dangerous environment.
But will you do it to your son?
I
Your
mean,
daughter?
of course I will.
I quite agree with your point, but it's almost impossible to do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like how you gonna force children to live in jungle?
I mean, I can if I get elected.
Delusional.
Okay, thank you so much. Our third topic is about foreign policy. The first question is, do you think foreign intervention is necessary when countries committed crime against human rights?
Okay, in my opinion, foreign invention sometimes may seem that they disarrange other country, but I think it is very important when some countries have a war or circumstance that against human rights, like some country in Asia. Yeah. Some foreign invention can show real justice, and also a real problem that is happening. Then this country can have supporters to help them do the right thing, solve and stop the issue. Importantly, you need cautiously decide whom you will help.
For me to answer if foreign intervention is necessary or not, it depends on the circumstance. If it's against the humanity, for example, if there's a country that white people are killing black people all over the country, I think the foreign intervention is necessary. But if there's just like a political turmoil that is happening in Thailand recently, for example, I think the foreign intervention is unnecessary. We should have let them solve the problem by themselves.
I think we can compare the situation to a smaller scale. If your neighbor regularly uses violence with his or her family member in his or her household, what would you do? Some people might say that it is their family issue and not intervene. but in my opinion, I think it is a necessary thing to act if this situation happens. Because at the end of the day, we are all human, we share the same earth, and we should help each other no matter what. I'm not okay with unnecessary sanction, but I'm not going to just stand still to violent injustice, rape, and mass murder. Yeah, I think in that case it's justified to intervene another country if they regulate human rights.
Human rights is not only some countries' business, but it is the whole world's effort. Everyone is global citizen. People always have the right to help each other when the human rights crime occurs. Some foreign intervention is necessary in order to protect humanity.
For me, I would say yes. When a country commits a crime against human rights, that means the country has no way of fixing itself. The core people that's managing the country is supposed to stop this, but if it happens, that means he has no control over it. So a foreign intervention is needed in order to bring back order to the country. It could be intervention by force, like sending a nuke, but that would be a bit of an overextension. So they could also send some soldiers and then take that country for themselves. But that would also be an overextension. So what I would do is take control of the country, and then when it's back to normal, and give it back.
Yeah, we seem to agree on these issues. I think it is what a human should do as well, but except from your part of like, you say like you are gonna conquer some country and give it back. Yeah, I'm quite skeptical about that. Yeah.
It's all in goodwill, so I just wanted to help the country.
I have to see if you are correct.
Thank you for your answer. The second question is, should we blame China for COVID-19? Why and why not?
Okay, as you can see, this is a huge problem that is happening and still cannot stop this virus. China is the first place that we discover people got infected. However, we cannot blame only China. There are many people that still don't trust about the virus. They just think that this is a normal virus and you can recover your own health easily. Nevertheless, we still cannot produce the vaccine. This is this virus. But there are a lot of people around the world because this virus approximately 1.5 million people. In case if you need to blame someone, I think you need to blame each of government that cannot control their citizens.
Yes.
For me, I think it's also China's fault, but there's no point for blaming them during all this COVID-19 things happening. The more important point, however, is that the blame game has been and remains a serious distraction from the essential and difficult work needed to control this terrible disease.
Yeah, it's true that China is responsible for this virus, but I don't think this is the best time to blame someone, to blame everything on China. In this hard time of destructive coronavirus, we need to unite and holding hands together to fight this. There are no benefit if we just blaming on someone or some country. I think each of the government have their fair share of mistakes. If Italy doesn't get affected that much, it wouldn't affect all of the world. So I don't think it's a good thing to blame on one country. We need to unite and get through this together.
I don't think we should blame anyone without using the evidence. The real origin of the pandemic is still unknown. And why should we blame China? All the things that we should do is to follow the measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Stay at home, wear face mask, and using alcohol gel. That's it.
Should China be blamed? I mean, yes. China have been like the biggest problem. They knew that the COVID-19 is a problem, but they kept quiet. They said like, oh, it's all under control. But then look at this. All people all over the world is having COVID right now. So, but that's the big problem. The small problem is the people. The only reason that COVID-19 spread like around easily because humans are stupid. I mean, if we had stayed home and followed the social distancing protocol, there wouldn't be a global pandemic right now. I mean, even I am not wearing a mask right now. So.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, and what you say that there is no evidence, I think there's clear evidence, right, Ken, about China responsible for the COVID?
Yes.
Yes, agree.
How do you know?
They
Yeah,
ate
they
the
are
bats.
research, they knew. Yeah, they ate the bats. Yeah.
Yeah.
The COVID-19 just took place at China, but where it come from?
The bat.
The bat.
Bat.
That come from
They
China.
ate the bat.
Chinese guy ate the bat.
The first case of corona come from China. What more you want to know?
They didn't care.
I like it.
Okay, so you confess, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the answers. Our fourth topic is social moral. First question is, the world population is increasing every year. How would you stop the world from overpopulating?
I think this problem is a small issue that many people don't notice about its effect. If we have overpopulated situation, it would affect many problems in the country. For instance, if you increase the chance of unemployment, because there is not enough workspace for everyone. Even though it may seem that it is a small problem, it is hard to fix because you cannot control every family, However, I know how to solve this issue. To solve this problem, collecting tax is the best option that I will use in the future if I can win this election. If some family have a children, like more than 2 people, you will need to pay tax every 2 months. If you don't follow the tax, if you don't follow the law, you will waste your money.
But would the people be happy if you raise the tax?
But it is a big problem, You need to be strict.
They're just gonna revolt against you.
Yeah.
If the people agree with me,
But if they disagree.
Let's see it. Gonna be the next president.
Yeah, that would be a bad.
Yeah, that's like Thanos, not killing people, just tax.
let's listen to Arthur.
Okay, I will say.
When asked about this, first idea that came up to my mind is to simply educating men and women about contraception. Get every children to study about sex since they are young and make them know that sex is a normal thing. Everybody can have sex and it's not weird, it's okay. As long as you know where you should do it, you should have it and know how to protect it.
Yeah, but my idea would be quite controversial, but I think overpopulation isn't a problem at all. If, according to many research, you can the trends of population is still increasing, but at a lower and lower trends. Like last year, I think the rate is decreased quite a bit, but the population still decreased. So I think the solution would be to just increase the quality of life, because if you can see the country with good quality of life has less children, like Japan. The quality of life is great and their birth rate is almost minus. And compared to countries like Nigeria, where the birth rate is very high, their living condition is bad. So to solve this problem, we need to just raise the quality of living.
I totally agree with him. The increasing population is not the main problem of everything. And it's really hard to make people stop having a lot of children without using the law, which is not a good solution for me. The real problem is that the government can't manage their own citizens. The government must be able to afford good living for the people, like improving transportation, supporting the local people, giving suitable welfare.
But I think your point to like, what do you say, like improve,
Improve
to improve
life
it,
quality.
yes, it uses money. So his point to take the taxes is.
But I think we already, like right now, we are already improving the quality of living.
Okay.
Let's move to the first. Yeah.
For me, to reduce overpopulation is making pornography more widespread. So by making pornography more widespread, it reduces birth rate by making people stay at home and watch his porn. So instead of going out, they just stay cooped up in their house and then watch porn all day. So like they don't need real women, they just need porn. For example, in Japan, where pornography is very like open and accessible. According to statistics, Japan birth rate is going down, and there's no sign of increasing. So watch porn if you're 18.
I agree with you, but I still disagree with you with Mr. Pilapat, right? How the overpopulated problem is not a big problem. Because as you can see, the rate of birth is increased every year. In the long term, you need to look in the long term. It's gonna be a problem for sure.
Like I said, it's increasing, but increasing at a slow and slow rate. At some point, the rate will just stand still and even decrease. So if you look at the long term, it will, some point of it, it will decrease. So that's why I say it's not a problem because the trend is like going up, like going steadily going
How do you
down.
know if it will go down?
Look at the trends. It's go down every year, the rate of birth rate.
It's increased.
Improving people living, including education. So if they got a good education, they know that they should protect themselves. Yeah, you know it.
So we should watch porn. Okay?
Yes.
No, porn is bad.
Porn is good, so stop banning it.
Banning it. It's against women. It's rape. It's totally just prostitution, but with a camera filming. Yeah, so ban it. Okay, move on. This is not about porn.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, if your family member was murdered, would you sentence the murderer to death?
This is a tough question, you know. There are a lot of crime in this world, but murdering is unacceptable for me. Killing someone is very easy thing to do, so we need to have a very strong and strict law and penalty. So we need to have. If you kill someone accidentally, you may be sentenced at least like 15 or 30 years. But in case of killing someone with plan that was already planned before, prepared before, there is no chance left for you. In other words, you will be executed. This is the best solution. We don't need to show mercy for someone who have decided to kill or murder other people. This is very bad and unacceptable for me. Thank you.
You just say murder is unacceptable, but you just murder someone.
Yeah, there
It's
is no
not
chance.
saying it's okay to murder.
it's not okay to murder someone, right?
But
So you murder someone.
If
It's
you
not
murder-
okay to murder someone.
if you let this man go kill someone again, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be worse. You know.
I'm not going to let someone.
Look at the serial killer. They kill and kill and kill. This is really bad.
So if you don't like the murdering, you can just sentence and
Yeah.
sentence him today. You know.
Yeah,
Like you just say murder is unacceptable.
Okay,
So
so
it's
change my
like
mind.
death
Let's
penalty.
move to the other candidate.
You
And
said someone.
we will discuss it later.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, for me, I didn't really think that murder is unacceptable, but I didn't think that it is acceptable. Of course, if I'm a president already, I shouldn't kill the one who murdered my family. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't let my emotions come king first. I should judge by the law book. Yeah. What I have to do is that I should follow the laws. But even if I shouldn't do that, I'll sentence the murderer to death or worse. I may even put him to death. I mean, I don't really care what the citizens will think of me. I won't let the person who killed my family member goes out and wandering around the country that I'm in. I know that it may lack of reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am against death penalty, as we can see. Death penalty contributes nothing to society. It has no positive effect whatsoever. To kill somebody is wrong, no matter how evil that person is. Most of the people agree that killing is the worst thing one possibly could do. But why, when the government do it, it is justified? Death penalty has no benefits. It can reduce crime rate, like most people believe. And it also costs as much, if not more, than life sentence. Life sentence, and yeah. Okay.
No one should be dead as well as the murderer. If he is executed, will he realize his sin, or will the dead come back to life? I think life sentence is the best way to punish him. We can make the prisoner to do things for the country during his time in the jail, or pay the salary to his family. This way is the most effective way to deal with the murderer and not make his family get financial problems.
Killing is bad. So, yes, the murderer should be sent to death. For killing someone on purpose is not acceptable. The only punishment a murderer should get is death. But just a simple execution is not enough. The murderer should receive a painful death, which set an example to everyone. Killing someone is easy. Some people do not even think about how the other person that is killed felt right before they die. So by killing them in a slow and painful way, you induce fear into other people, which make them feel less likely to kill someone. Like what the Joker said, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. But for this, it's not about killing a person, it's about sending out a message that death is bad and that you shouldn't do it.
I totally agree with you.
But I still disagree with him.
I disagree with almost all of you.
Okay, let me speak first. Okay, you say that the death penalty is no benefit.
Yeah.
But I think if we sentence the murderer all of his lifetime, as you can see, there is a case that prisoner killed themselves again in the jail. You know?
What's your point? I don't understand.
I mean, the prisoner can kill other prisoner again, you know,
So what?
like in the jail.
You-
So we need to execute him.
You can just like
Like you need to point.
put him alone.
Yeah, put him in
Yeah.
solitude. Yeah.
You don't need to put him in our person. What I want to say is, instead of killing them, we can cure them, try to rehabilitate them, and try to study them. If we like study their mind, study what is the cause of their evilness, maybe that will be more benefit to the society. We can fix the problem. But just to kill them, just to see them dying painfully, like he said, that's so evil.
No,
I don't
but-
agree at all. I don't think acceptable. We should study them. Yeah.
Like Mr. Tam said, that we need to show some example, and the citizen would not not trying to kill someone again, because we have an example that if you do this, you're gonna get executed.
Yeah, and the dead body
Yeah.
could be used as
And no one gonna kill each other again.
But the fact that you say that you will execute him is kind of fight with the reason that you say you think murdering is unacceptable.
Yeah, so we need to get rid of him.
So you say
Like,
murdering is unacceptable, but
Yeah,
you
but
are
you can
murdering.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you need to show
A person.
the example for the other citizen. You know,
I think you shouldn't have.
and this
say
crime
that.
rate gonna be decreased.
I think you shouldn't have said that you think murder is unacceptable.
Where you
Because you are murdering.
There.
You're going to murder.
Yeah, I would say that there's no evidence
Because
that
he
crime rate
did the wrong thing. I
You are going to do the thing that you think it is unacceptable.
have
to you.
said to you before that if in an accident, you're gonna be just like normal sentence. But if you have a plan, you have prepared before.
But how do you know?
I still disagree if they plan before. I still don't think that is justified.
Why?
Because killing people is bad.
You say that it's unacceptable.
Yeah, and we need to show other citizens, and no one gonna kill someone again.
That's
And
wrong.
the crime rate gonna be decreased.
Like you look at China, look at Iran, they executed the most people in the world, but the crime rate, the murder rate is still high. How does that help? You look at Sweden and Norway, and the death penalty is already abolished, but their crime rate and murder rate is very low, lower than ever. Yeah. So what's your point then?
I just want to kill people. So there's benefit other than like getting rid of the murderer too. So the dead body of the murderer can be used to, as a fertilizer to make plants grow faster, and which increase the environment, like make it a better place to live.
I think you should be our president.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Mr. Furrer.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And now I want you to say your slogan. Please start off with San.
Okay, what means for a brighter future? Ensure in enhancement.
Yes, we will win.
Free the people for the people.
Bigger together.
For a better life, use herb, not chemical.
Okay, thank you so much for this.
Hello, my name is Paul. I'm the editor of IEM, and today I'm going to voice on my opinions on candidates of IEM. And starting off with Neo, Anda, and Bank, I think their policies are mediocre and it's not that great. If they were president, I don't think I'll gain anything out of it. Moving on to Kane and San. I disagree with some points and policies of San, but about Kane, I'm a smoker. I love cannabis, and cannabis makes me happy. And by legalizing it, you can gain benefits from it, from medical benefits and using the substances from cannabis. Thank you.